Hi guys, in this lesson we're going to learn all about variables, which are a fundamental part of JavaScript. A variable is just a container for a value. JavaScript is known as a weakly or dynamically typed language. What this means is that unlike many other programming languages, when a variable is declared in JavaScript, we don't have to specify what type of value it will store. This is great because it means that any variable can hold any type of data. We can store one type of data, say a string, in a particular variable, and then later on we can overwrite the string value with a number, for example. The downside to this is that sometimes we don't know for sure what type of data a variable may be holding, so we'll often need to check before doing something with the value. If, like me, JavaScript is your first programming language, then this may sound completely reasonable and fine. If you're coming to JavaScript from a strongly typed language, you may be recoiling in horror and shock. It is what it is. You'll get used to it, I'm sure. So let's open up the basics.js script file in our text editor, and we can start looking at variables. So first of all, how do we declare a variable? To declare a variable, we use the var keyword, followed by the name or identifier of the variable. In this case, the variable, the meaning of life, is created without any value. Because it doesn't have a value assigned to it, it will automatically have the special value undefined. If we declare a variable without using the var keyword, it will automatically become a global variable, even if it's inside a function. This is very, very bad. We should try to avoid setting global variables wherever possible, and we should definitely not create them by mistake. So never forget the var keyword. The casing of the variable name here is a convention known as Camel Casing, where the first letter of each word is capitalized except for the first letter. This is a common naming convention used in JavaScript. Generally, a variable name should be descriptive enough to give you an indication of what it contains. There are some rules around the characters we can use for a variable name in JavaScript. Technically, we can use any Unicode character in an identifier. However, a variable name must start with either an underscore, the $, or a letter. Numbers can be used within the variable name, but not right at the start. Space characters cannot be used at all. As well as just declaring the variable, as we have done here, we can also declare and assign a value in a single statement. Now the variable contains the numeric value 42. As well as declaring a single variable, with or without a value assigned, we can also declare and or assign multiple variables with a single var statement. Here the foo variable contains the string value bar. This is treated as a single expression. We can also mix simple declared variables with assigned variables. This is treated exactly as if we had used multiple var statements. Another convention you'll find is that variables declared in this way are indented 4 spaces on each new line. Unassigned variables are commonly declared in a single line, either before the assigned variables or after them. Using multiple vars versus single vars, and using single lines or multiple lines, is largely a matter of personal preference. One style is not better than any other. What's important is that you pick a style and stick with it for consistency. If you're working as part of a team of developers, then you should all follow the same conventions so that reading the code becomes easier regardless of which team member actually wrote it. So if we want to assign a new value to an existing variable, we just don't use the var statement. In this case, we assign the value of the baz variable to the foo variable. In this case, because the variable baz is unassigned, the string value bar, which is initially the value of foo, will be overwritten with the value undefined, which is what the variable baz contains. It's important that we remember to use the var statement when declaring a value for the first time. If we don't do this, the variable is declared in the global scope, which means that any other JavaScript running on the same web page can access and update it. This is a very bad thing that can cause unintended consequences for our own code. It can also be the root of incredibly hard to find bugs. To avoid creating globals unintentionally, we usually use a linting tool like JSLint, which spots errors such as this and warns us about them. In this lesson we learned all about variables. We saw how to declare them and how to assign them values. We also looked at some common conventions around how they are declared and how they are named. Thanks for watching.